So let's take down Rudy Giuliani's latest claim that somehow the search warrants executed against him were illegal because they would have netted some attorney-client privileged information. Let's talk about why Rudy Giuliani is yet again wrong. Because justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So let's debunk Rudy Giuliani's claims in real time as best we can. He is now incessantly complaining about the fact that because the search warrants that were executed at his home and at his office may have resulted in the FBI seizing information that enjoys an attorney-client privilege, that makes the search warrants illegal. Let's take that on. When lawyers commit crime, guess what? FBI agents and prosecutors can get search warrants looking for evidence of that crime, and we can prosecute those lawyers if we find enough evidence that they've committed crimes. You know, lawyers are not legal unicorns enjoying magical protection against search warrants or against prosecutions. What lawyers do get the benefit of is something called a taint team or a filter team. What is that? So when we execute search warrants on a lawyer's office, for example, and the FBI collects up a whole bunch of information, that information, that evidence, is delivered to a set of prosecutors that has nothing to do with investigating or prosecuting the lawyer. For example, you have a team of prosecutors investigating, and assuming he ends up being indicted, they will prosecute Rudy Giuliani. So those lawyers don't get all of the information that was just seized in the search warrant. That information goes to a taint team or a filter team, and that team reviews the materials to see if there are attorney-client privileged communications, files, in the items that were seized from Rudy Giuliani. And if so, those privileged communications never are given to the prosecutors who are investigating and will prosecute Rudy Giuliani. They're completely walled off. Why? Because we actually respect. We are duty-bound to respect the attorney-client privilege. I've been a part of taint teams, filter teams in the past. And if we have information and we don't know if it's privileged or not, we can submit it to the judge. The judge can make the decision whether the information, the documents, the files, the electronic communications enjoy an attorney-client privilege. And if so, it never goes to the prosecutors who are prosecuting the lawyer. So that is an added level of protection that lawyers get when we execute search warrants. We get lawyers' stuff pursuant to the search warrants, and we begin to go through it, but we do it in a way that protects and preserves the attorney-client privilege. However, there's an exception to the attorney-client privilege. Prosecutors can sometimes pierce the privilege. How? Well, if the attorney and the client are doing crime together, and they're trying to hide the evidence of that crime under the cloak of attorney-client privilege, so the prosecutors never get to look at it, well, guess what? It doesn't work. Because that's not what the attorney-client privilege was designed to protect. Crime being committed together by the attorney and the client. So under that hypothetical or that scenario, there's something called the crime fraud exception to the attorney-client privilege, and we can pierce the privilege, and we can use that evidence of the attorney and the client doing crime together because of the crime fraud exception. So if, for example, Rudy Giuliani and Donald Trump were working together to collect up false information from Russian oligarchs, from Ukrainian oligarchs, or from Russian intelligence sources, and they were taking that false information and they were using it to interfere in U.S. elections, well then, even if Rudy and Donald were communicating privately about that stuff, that would not enjoy an attorney-client privilege because of the crime fraud exception. So Rudy Giuliani is just trying to deceive the Fox viewers or the viewers of Rudy Giuliani's rambling nonsense, because these search warrants weren't illegal. And we do protect the attorney-client relationship. And there is a way to pierce that attorney-client privilege if the attorney and the client are doing crime together. And Merrick Garland's Department of Justice will do all of this in a way that honors the law and the Constitution and the recognized attorney-client privilege. So my goal is to continue to debunk what Rudy Giuliani spouts out in his desperate attempt to avoid being held accountable for what he has done. And we will continue to watch as justice comes for Rudy Giuliani, because it's coming. And justice matters. As always, folks, thank you for tuning in to these daily videos. If you'd like to support our all-volunteer efforts here and our content, please go over to patreon.com. You can sign up to become a patron. And if you do, I'll send you some Team Justice stickers and a personal handwritten note of thanks. As always, please stay safe, please stay tuned, and I look forward to talking with you all again tomorrow.